I need you to listen. This doesn't have to turn ugly. The calm in his voice felt rehearsed, controlled. The kind he used when he wanted compliance, not conversation. I am listening. Good. Then do the smart thing. Pay it off. Quietly. No. A pause. Brief. Calculated. Don't turn this into a drama. You used my name. You used my credit. You'll be fine. You always are. The familiarity of that line stung more than the accusation. I never agreed to this. You agreed to help me. I agreed to help, not to disappear. Another pause. Colder this time. I told you it was temporary. You told me nothing. I didn't need to. You're my mother. His certainty pressed down like weight, like entitlement dressed up as family. Say it, I said. Say you took it out in my name. Silence. I needed the money. You needed permission. You needed to trust me. I did. That's why this works. The words landed clean. No apology. No hesitation. The payment is overdue. You can cover it. And if I don't, you will. Because once you start talking, banks ask questions. People notice. People notice when laws are broken. A short laugh slipped through the line. Controlled. Almost amused. Don't call it that. I'm calling it exactly that. The air between us tightened. Then listen carefully. Drop it, or you're dead to me. The sentence stayed. Heavy. Deliberate. No calls. No visits. No holidays. You push this, and I'm gone. I breathed in. Slowly. You're asking me to vanish. I'm asking you to be a good mother. Something settled inside me. Not anger. Not grief. Clarity, no. You think you can win this, I'm not trying to win. A single breath. I'm done. The line went silent. I ended the call. The subject line was plain. No warning, no apology. Payment overdue, immediate action required. I opened it once. Then again. The amount sat in the center of the message, bold and indifferent $3,573. Past due. Accruing penalties. That can't be right, I muttered. I hadn't borrowed money in years. I paid balances the same day they appeared. I didn't miss payments. I didn't forget obligations. The sender wasn't a name I recognized. I dialed the number at the bottom of the message and waited through a recorded voice telling me my call was important. Account services. A woman answered, brisk but polite. How can I help you? There's an email claiming I missed a payment, I said. I don't have a loan with your bank. A pause. Keys clicking. Can you confirm your full name and address I gave them, and the last 4 digits of your social security number? I hesitated, then complied. More clicking. Yes, she said. I see the account. My grip tightened on the phone. There is no account. There is, she replied, steady. A personal loan opened under your name. I didn't apply for one. I understand, she said in a way that suggested she'd said it many times before. But the loan is active. When was it opened? 3 months ago. The room felt smaller. And the amount, $25,000, she said. With scheduled monthly payments. That's not possible. The funds were deposited successfully, she continued. The account is in good standing aside from the missed payment. Deposited where? I didn't say it out loud. She answered anyway. To a checking account on file. Whose account? Another pause. Longer this time. I can't disclose full details, she said carefully. But the recipient is listed as an authorized party. Authorized. Is this a mistake, I asked? A clerical error. No, ma'am, she said. The documentation is complete. I closed my eyes. This loan is in my name, I said. Yes. And if I don't pay? Late fees will continue, she replied. And it will affect your credit. The line went quiet. The email wasn't a mistake. I called the bank again before the coffee went cold. A different voice this time. Mail. Careful. I'm calling about a personal loan under my name, I said. I need to know where the money went. I can review the transaction history, he replied. I'll need to verify your identity first. I gave him everything he asked for. Each detail felt like surrendering ground. Thank you, he said. I have the file open. Silence. Keys moving. A breath. The loan was approved and disbursed 3 months ago. I didn't receive anything. The funds were deposited the same day. Into my account. No, he said. Into a linked checking account. Linked. Whose account? Another pause. Longer. Less comfortable. I'm limited in what I can disclose, he began. You already confirmed the loan exists, I said. You already confirmed it's in my name. I'm not asking for a favor. I'm asking where my money went. The line stayed quiet. Then, the recipient account belongs to an authorized individual. Authorized how? Through documentation provided at the time of application. My hand tightened around the phone. Read the name. I'm sorry. Read the name, I repeated. He exhaled. The account holder is listed as Daniel Whitmore. The name landed hard, familiar, heavy. That's my son. Yes, ma'am. I sat down without meaning to. The funds were transferred in full, he continued. $25,000 without my knowledge. There's no indication of a system error. Did he withdraw the money? The account shows multiple transactions over several weeks. I closed my eyes. This wasn't an accident, I said. I can't speak to intent, he replied, only to records, and the loan is legally mine. At this time, he said yes. The word settled like a verdict. If I disputed, I asked what happens. There's a process, he said carefully, but it involves documentation and review and payment. Missed payments will continue to accrue consequences. I ended the call. The money hadn't vanished. It had gone somewhere specific, to someone who knew exactly what he was doing. I didn't raise my voice when he answered. I didn't need to. We need to talk. He sighed, already tired of me. About what? The loan. A beat. Not surprise. Not confusion. So you found it. It's in my name. Technically, he said. Yes. The word scraped. You took out a loan using my credit. I took out a loan, he corrected, with access you gave me. I never gave you permission for this. You didn't say no, he replied. And I needed it. For what? That doesn't matter. It matters to me. It's temporary, he said, as if that ended the conversation. I just needed a bridge built on my credit. You're stable, he said. You've always been careful. This won't hurt you. You didn't ask. You would have panicked. You hid it. I managed it, he said. There's a difference. There's a payment overdue, I know. And you didn't tell me. I was going to, he said. Once things settled. They didn't settle. They will, he insisted. I just need time. Time costs me. You'll be fine, Mom. The sentence came out soft. Familiar. Like a lullaby I used to hum when he was small. I'm not paying this, I said. A pause. Then a laugh, short and dismissive. Of course you are. I didn't take the money. You benefited, he said. Indirectly. How? You're helping your son. I'm being used. That's dramatic. What do you call it? I call it family, he replied. We handle things quietly. Quietly for who? For everyone, he said. No banks, no reports, no unnecessary attention. I won't keep quiet. You should, he said. People don't need to know our business. Crimes are everyone's business. He leaned closer to the phone. I could hear the shift in his breath. Lower your voice, I'm alone. You won't be if you start talking. Is that a warning? It's advice, he said. Pay it off. We'll sort the rest later. There is no later. You're making this harder than it needs to be. No, I said. You are. Silence followed. Not remorse. Not fear. Expectation. I waited until the next call. I wanted my voice steady when I said it. This is fraud. The word landed between us without apology. He didn't respond right away. I could hear him breathing slow and measured, like he was deciding which version of himself to use. Don't use that word. I already did. You're blowing this out of proportion. You took out a loan in my name without telling me I said. That's fraud. It was a technicality, he snapped. You're acting like I robbed you at gunpoint. You robbed me with paperwork. Another pause. Thicker now. The tone shifted. You know what happens when you say things like that, he said. What happens is the truth. What happens is banks freeze accounts. People start digging. You think that only affects me. You made that decision when you signed my name. I had access, he said. You gave it to me. I gave you trust. And now you're taking it back, he said. Over money. Over principle. Principle doesn't pay bills, he replied. You know that better than anyone. You're afraid, I said. A sharp exhale. I'm irritated. You're losing control. Careful, he warned. You don't know how far this can go. I know exactly how far it's already gone. If you report this, he said, you make enemies you don't need. I already have one. His voice dropped. Lower. Harder. You think the bank is going to side with you. I think the truth doesn't need sides. You think I won't remember this. I think you already decided I was expendable. That's not fair. Neither is this. Silence again. Not empty, loaded. You can still fix this, he said finally. Pay it. We move on, we don't move on, I replied. We stop. You're choosing this? No, I said. You did. The call ended shortly after, not because we were finished, because he had nothing left to offer but pressure. He called back within the hour. I've thought about it, he said. This ends now. It ends when you stop, I replied. You don't get to decide that. I do when it's my name. A breath. Then the calm again. Thinner. Sharper. Listen carefully. If you keep pushing this, you burn everything. Family. History. All of it. You already burned it. Don't twist this, he said. I'm giving you a way out. A way to disappear. A way to keep your son. Silence pressed in. He let it sit confident it would do the work for him. I will not be humiliated, he continued. Not by a bank, not by paperwork, and not by you. You humiliated me. You're making noise, he said. That's the problem. I'm telling the truth. You're threatening my life. No, I said. You threatened mine. His voice dropped. Final. Deliberate. Drop it, he said, or you're dead to me. The sentence didn't rush. It arrived intact like he had practiced it. No calls, no visits. No holidays. You push this and I'm gone. I waited for something to rise. Rage. Tears. Begging. Nothing did. You're using love like a leash, I said. I'm setting boundaries. You're issuing punishment. For disobedience, he said. Yes. My hands were steady. My voice followed. You learned that somewhere. Choose, he said. Me or this. I won't choose silence, I replied. You're choosing to be alone. I've been alone for a while. He laughed short and dismissive. You think you're stronger than this. I think I'm finished pretending. Another breath. This one unsteady. You don't mean that. I do. You'll regret it. I already regret what I tolerated. The line went quiet. I won't protect you anymore, I said. Not from consequences. Not from yourself. He started to speak. I ended the call. Something inside me let go. Not loudly. Not violently. Cleanly. I didn't sit with it. I didn't wait for permission. I opened the folder where I kept everything I had ever signed. Old statements. Authorization forms. Copies I had never thought I would need again. The bank answered on the third ring. I'm calling to dispute a loan under my name, I said. I believe it was taken out without my informed consent. The woman on the line slowed immediately. Professional. Alert. I'll need to document that, she said. Are you alleging fraud? Yes. She didn't flinch. I'm going to transfer you to our investigations department. Another voice came on. Deeper. Careful. I understand this involves a family member, he said. It involves misuse, I replied. That matters more. He asked questions. I answered them plainly. No apologies. No softening. When did you become aware of the loan? When I received an overdue notice. Did you authorize the funds to be transferred? No. Did you receive any benefit from the loan? No. Do you have documentation that supports this? Yes, I said, and I can provide more. Then we'll open a formal review, he replied. This will take time. I have time. The call ended with instructions. Next steps. A case number. I wrote it down. Then I called the legal aid office listed on the county website. A man named Thomas answered. His voice was calm, practiced. I don't need a speech, I told him. I need to know my options. You have them, he said, especially if the loan was taken without disclosure. He's my son. That doesn't change the law. I'm not looking to punish him, I said. I'm looking to stop being punished for him. He was quiet for a moment. Then, that's usually when people are ready. Ready. I hung up and sat still. No shaking. No second guessing. Just a list of things that were no longer mine to carry. I didn't feel brave. I felt finished waiting. The report was filed by mid-morning. This will trigger a formal investigation, the woman from the bank said. You may be contacted for additional documentation. I'll be available, I replied. She hesitated. I know this is difficult when family is involved. It's difficult when boundaries are ignored, I said. This is necessary. After the call ended, I sat with my phone in my hand longer than I needed to. I typed his name once. Deleted it. Typed again. I didn't explain. I didn't defend myself. I didn't argue. I reported the loan as fraud. I will not pay it. I will not stay quiet. I paused, then added one last line. You wanted freedom. You have it. I'm done. I sent the message before I could reconsider. The response came fast. You've crossed a line. I didn't answer. You think this makes you righteous. Silence. You're destroying this family. Still nothing. You'll regret this. I turned the phone face down. I called the credit bureau next, placed a fraud alert on my account, requested a freeze. Each step felt deliberate, clean. I canceled the automatic transfers I had once set up for him, the ones I told myself were temporary, the ones that never really were. Later, the phone rang again. His number. I let it ring. Then again, I blocked it. I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel cruel. I felt lighter. The kind of lightness that comes after you put something heavy down and realize how long you've been carrying it without noticing. There was no confrontation, no final argument, no dramatic farewell. Just quiet. And in that quiet space returned. Breath returned. I stayed there for a while doing nothing at all, letting the silence hold. The call came 3 days later. This is the investigations department, the man said. We've completed our preliminary review. I'm listening. The loan has been formally removed from your responsibility, he continued. It will no longer appear on your credit report. I didn't respond right away. The misuse was substantiated, he added. The account has been transferred to the individual who received the funds. Thank you, I said. The words felt precise. Contained. We'll be in touch if further documentation is required. The line disconnected. I sat there long enough for the relief to arrive quietly, without celebration. That afternoon, my phone rang again, a different number. You've made things very hard, my sister said without greeting. He's in trouble. He made his choices. You didn't have to go this far. I stopped going far for him a long time ago. You could have handled this inside the family. I tried. He's saying you ruined his life. I didn't take anything from him, I replied. I gave it back. Her voice tightened. Mom would have handled this differently. I'm not her. Another call followed. Then another. Cousins I hadn't heard from in years. Each one spoke carefully, like they were stepping around something sharp. "He's under investigation," one said. "That's serious." So was what he did. "He's scared." So was I. Family forgives. Family doesn't threaten silence. The calls slowed after that. That evening a message came through from an unfamiliar number. "You happy now?" I read it once, then deleted it. There were no apologies, no explanations, no attempts to understand. Only consequences moving through a system he thought would never touch him. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt settled. The kind of settled that comes when noise finally loses its grip. Nothing else came after that. And for the first time in a long while, nothing was enough. No one called after that. The silence held. I expected something to rush in and fill it: regret, doubt, the old instinct to repair what had broken. None of it came. A week later, a letter arrived from the bank, confirming everything in writing. The loan was no longer mine. My name was clear, my record intact. The words were formal, distant, final. I placed the letter in a drawer and didn't look at it again. There was no apology from my son. No attempt at explanation. No softened version of what he had said. The threat stood where he left it untouched. I didn't reach out. When a neighbor asked how my family was doing, I said, "I'm well," and meant it. A woman from church stopped me one afternoon. "I haven't seen your son in a while." "I haven't either." She hesitated. "I hope everything's all right." "So do I replied. That was the truth. Clean and uncomplicated. I learned how much of my life had been shaped around anticipating his needs, his emergencies, his moods, his silence. Without them, the days stretched differently. Not empty. Open. I cooked what I liked. I slept through the night. I answered only the calls I wanted to answer. There were moments when his voice returned in my head, sharp and certain. I didn't argue with it anymore. I let it pass. What surprised me most was not the loss, but the steadiness that followed it. I stood where I was, without shrinking, without explaining, without apologizing. I had not chosen to stop loving my son. I had chosen to stop disappearing for him. The peace that settled afterward was not loud or dramatic. It didn't announce itself. It stayed, and that was enough.